Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever stopped to think about something as, well, fundamental as measuring acidity or alkalinity?
Probably not something most people think about daily.
Right. But turns out it's not just some chemistry class concept.
Mm,
It's a foundational technology. It underpins huge global industries,
absolute.
powering an entire market you might never have even heard of. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the global pH electrode market.
That's right.
Our mission here is to sort of pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from our sources, cognitive market research in this case, about this really critical market,
Yeah.
where it is now and where it's heading.
And it's so crucial because, well, pH is just a fundamental property of pretty much any liquid. It affects everything, doesn't it?
Like what?
Like the consistency of industrial processes, the safety of our food, our water. Measuring it precisely is uh, absolutely indispensable across countless applications.
Okay, so indispensable, vital. But for listeners maybe picturing a high school chem lab, what is a pH electrode, really? What are we actually talking about?
Yeah, good question. Think it's like a specialized probe. Often it has a delicate glass tip.
Okay.
You dip that into a liquid. Inside, it's measuring the electrical potential, the voltage of that solution.
Voltage.
And that voltage directly relates to its acidity or alkalinity.
Mhm.
It gives us a very precise, usually digital readout.
Mhm.
They're essentially tiny, highly accurate chemical sensors.
So definitely not just lab coats and beakers then.
Oh, not at all.
It sounds like these things are foundational to almost every, well, liquid-based process we encounter. Can you maybe paint a picture of just how widespread their influence is?
Precisely. I mean, these electrodes are kind of the silent workhorses behind processes that affect our daily lives in ways we rarely even consider.
Hmm.
They're vital across incredibly diverse sectors. You've got industrial process control, think chemical manufacturing, beverage production. They ensure consistency, safety.
Right.
In laboratories, obviously, they're indispensable for research, quality checks,
Mm.
critical in water treatment, guaranteeing safe drinking water, managing wastewater.
Hugely important there.
Food production relies on them heavily. Quality, shelf life.
Hmm.
Then there's environmental monitoring, tracking pollution, ecological balance in rivers, oceans,
Okay.
pharmaceuticals, key for drug development, manufacturing, getting those formulations exact,
Wow, okay. It's everywhere.
even agriculture,
Yeah.
getting soil pH right for optimal crop yields.
Yeah.
And the growing demand for, let's call it precision chemical monitoring,
Yeah.
especially in areas like wastewater treatment, cutting-edge biotech, that's directly fueling the adoption of these electrodes worldwide. It's really taking off.
Okay, so we've established these quiet workhorses are pretty much everywhere. But the big question for many, I imagine, is the money. What's the financial footprint? How much economic activity does this actually generate globally?
And this is where it gets really remarkable, the scale and the consistent growth. So according to cognitive market research, the global pH electrode market was already generating a hefty $671 million back in 2021.
Okay, over $500 million.
Yeah. And it grew significantly to over $824 million by 2025.
Wow.
And the projection, it's set to reach a formidable $1.24 billion by 2033.
Over $1 billion for pH electrons.
Exactly. And it's not just static growth. It's expanding at a healthy compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 5.25% predicted between 2025 and 2033.
5.25%. That's solid.
That kind of sustained expansion, well, it clearly underscores the ongoing and actually increasing demand for this fundamental measurement technology.
That's a powerful global number for sure. But where exactly is this growth, bubbling up? Let's zoom in a bit. Which regions are really setting the pace here?
Okay, yeah, let's break it down regionally because we see some clear leaders and some pretty impressive growth stories playing out.
Oh, yeah.
So Asia Pacific or APAC, it isn't just the largest market, it's also the fastest growing globally.
Really? Fastest?
Yep. It was valued around $230 million back in 2021, the forecast. Nearly double that, hitting over $450 million by 2033.
Wow.
With an impressive CAGR over 5.8%.
Higher than the global average then.
Exactly. And this growth is really spearheaded by economic powerhouses like China. Their sales were nearly $70 million in 2021, projected to hit over $130 million by 2033.
Okay.
And India? Its market is projected to more than double, hitting over $90 million by 2033. We also see strong numbers from Japan, South Korea, Australia.
A lot of activity there.
Definitely. And this incredible expansion in APAC, It points directly to things like rapid industrialization, a growing focus on environmental regulations, and significant advancements in biotechnology in those areas, all
Hmm.
major drivers.
Makes sense. What about Europe?
Europe's market is also substantial, growing from around $186 million in 2021 to an expected $325 million by 2033.
Still very significant.
Absolutely. You've got major players like Germany, France, the UK leading the way. That reflects their mature industrial bases, strong environmental standards.
Right. Established markets.
Exactly. But interestingly, countries like Russia and Spain are also showing robust growth. That suggests expanding industrial sectors there too. Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, all contributing significantly.
Yeah. Okay, so strong growth across the board in Europe. How about North America?
North America also represents a big chunk, valued at about $162 million in 2021, projected to reach nearly $280 million by 2033. The CAGR there is a steady 4.6%.
Slightly lower than APAC, but still solid.
Still very solid. The United States, unsurprisingly, contributes the largest share. Its market is expected to grow from nearly $128 million to over $213 million.
The lion's share, yeah.
Right. But Canada and Mexico also make significant contributions, driven by, advanced manufacturing, pharmaceutical sectors.
Gotcha. What about further south? South America.
South America is showing strong upward trends too. Starting around $47 million in 2021, projected to reach over $95 million by 2033, so more than doubling.
Doubling again. Who leads there?
Brazil leads the way. Its market's expected to double to nearly $40 million, followed by notable contributions from places like Argentina and Colombia,
And what's driving that?
often tied to the region's resource industries, but also a growing manufacturing base.
Okay. Middle East and Africa.
Yeah.
Sometimes smaller markets, but still important.
Definitely growing. The Middle East is projected to expand from about $26 million in 2021 to over $53 million by 2033. Again, more than doubling.
Doubling seems to be a theme here.
It really is. Key players there are Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE. They're investing heavily in infrastructure, industrial diversification, all needing precise measurement.
Makes sense. And Africa.
Africa, while starting from a smaller base, is still showing healthy growth, moving from around $18 million in 2021 to an anticipated $31 million or so by 2033. Nigeria and South Africa are the largest contributors there.
What's driving it there? Developing industries.
Yeah, developing industrial sectors and an increasing focus on things like water quality management.
So if we step back and connect all these regional dots, what's the big picture takeaway?
Well, I think if we connect this all to the bigger picture,
Hmm.
it's clear that the really high growth in places like APAC strongly suggests these global trends are accelerating. Increasing industrialization, more stringent environmental regulations taking hold globally, and massive advancements in fields like biotech.
Right.
These aren't just numbers on a page. They're a clear indicator of where global industrial and scientific development is concentrating its efforts, and where precise measurement is just becoming more and more critical.
That's fascinating. So, okay, what does this all mean for us, the listener? We've talked about this, technology that most people probably don't think about day to day. Yet it underpins these vast global industries, a market speeding past $1 billion. It really is a testament to the profound, often invisible impact of this kind of precise measurement on our daily lives.
And I think this raises an important question. Why should you, the listener, actually care about this market?
Yeah, why?
Because the growth of pH electrodes isn't just about some niche piece of lab equipment, right? It's directly tied to broader global needs, challenges that affect every single one of us.
Like what specifically?
Well, we're talking about ensuring clean, safe water flows to our homes, guaranteeing the food on our tables is safe to eat, developing and producing effective pharmaceuticals that save lives, supporting sustainable environmental practices to protect the planet.
So the real basics of modern life, really.
Absolutely. It highlights how these seemingly small, precise measurements are just fundamental, foundational to progress, to safety. In our increasingly complex world, they're, the bedrock upon which so many critical processes are built, making our world safer, healthier, more efficient.
It really is remarkable how a technology like pH electrodes, which, might sound obscure, is actually this foundational pillar for so much of modern life. This deep dive really uncovers the surprising significance of these quiet, crucial technologies.
Indeed. And it's a great example, I think, of how precision measurement technologies like these electrodes, they're not just about numbers or data points.
Right.
They're about laying the groundwork for innovation, ensuring quality control, and ultimately addressing critical needs across the globe.
A powerful thought to end on.
So maybe as you go about your day, perhaps consider what other hidden technologies are out there,
Yeah.
quietly powering our modern world, ensuring its safety, its efficiency, its progress, maybe one precise measurement at a time. Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a technology that's utterly fundamental, really, to so much of our modern world.
Yeah.
Yet it often operates, completely behind the scenes. We're talking about the pH electrode. We've got a stack of fascinating insights here from recent market reports, and they truly underscore just how vital this segment of modern sensing tech is. It's powering innovations everywhere, environmental monitoring, biopharma, industrial automation, even stuff in your own home.
Absolutely. And our mission today really is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge about pH electrodes. So not just why they're critical and where they're headed, but also maybe just briefly how these often hidden devices actually work. You'll discover how they impact everything. I mean, the water you drink, the medicines you might take, even like you said, the vibrancy of your own backyard garden, often without you ever even noticing them.
Okay, before we jump into the market stuff, then maybe for those of us who are curious at a really high level,
Yeah.
how does a pH electrode actually do that? What's the magic?
Yeah, it's quite ingenious, actually. At its core, a pH electrode is measuring electrical potential difference. It's basically created by the concentration of hydrogen ions in whatever solution it's in.
Oh,
You can sort of think of it like a tiny specialized battery. It generates a voltage, and that voltage is directly proportional to the pH level. So it's a really clever way to translate chemistry, essentially, into an electrical signal. And that gives us that precise pH reading that, well, so many industries rely on.
That makes perfect sense, like a little chemical translator.
Hmm.
So, given how truly foundational these things are, what are the key drivers? What's really shaping the growth of this market? Where are the biggest forces at play, making them so, well, indispensable?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is how critical pH measurement has become for essential services, often in ways we don't even think about. One of the most significant drivers is definitely the enhancement in water quality monitoring. It's kind of surprising to think that something as basic as your tap water safety or, the health of local rivers often hinges on the precision of a tiny pH electrode.
Ah,
I mean, a single malfunction in one of these monitoring systems could, in some cases, lead to a massive recall or a health advisory.
wow.
That's sort of the unseen weight these small devices carry. They are absolutely pivotal for ensuring regulatory compliance. Think water treatment plants, aquaculture, environmental research, especially now with smart water infrastructure and IoT-driven systems, that's the Internet of Things, right? Allowing devices to connect, share data.
Right, that real-time data flow.
Exactly. It enables continuous real-time insights from all over a network.
So their precision literally helps keep our water safe and clean. That's huge. Where else are these electrodes making such a profound impact?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you also see really strong momentum from the biotech and pharmaceutical industries.
Right.
In those sectors, pH control isn't just important, it's absolutely critical. Imagine like trying to bake a cake where the oven temperature kept wildly fluctuating.
Yeah, disaster.
Right, the outcome would be totally inconsistent. And that's basically what pH stability ensures for processes like fermentation or cell culture in these big bioreactors. High-precision pH electrodes help maintain that vital stability. They ensure consistent product quality, which is crucial with the rise of complex biologics and customized treatments. So the demand for electrodes that are sterilizable, chemically resilient, and deliver lab-grade accuracy in these really dynamic, high-stakes environments, well, it's never been higher.
It sounds like the stakes couldn't be higher in pharma. That need for precision is intense. But what about the broader industrial landscape? Does this same level of meticulous pH control translate to, say, large-scale manufacturing?
Yeah, that raises a really important point about efficiency and safety on a larger scale. Another key driver is definitely the ongoing push for automation in industrial processes. In industries like chemicals, food and beverage, even oil refining, maintaining strict pH parameters is essential. It impacts operational efficiency, worker safety, and of course, regulatory compliance.
Right.
And as Industry 4.0 advances, you see modern factories integrating these inline digital pH electrodes directly with their control systems. Things like SCADA and PLC systems, which are basically the the central nervous system and the local controllers that automate these huge industrial processes.
Gotcha.
And these integrations, they support things like remote calibration, real-time diagnostics, even predictive maintenance, which all helps significantly reduce operational downtime and enhance the overall system reliability. It's a big deal for efficiency.
Okay, so we have these powerful drivers, these undeniable benefits,
Mm-hmm.
water, pharma, industry. But I imagine there are significant hurdles too. It can't all be smooth sailing. What are some of the practical challenges? What keeps these electrodes from being completely set it and forget it?
You've absolutely hit on a critical point there. It's definitely not set it and forget it. The first big challenge lies in their necessary calibration and maintenance. It's ongoing.
Ah,
pH electrodes require pretty frequent upkeep. Cleaning, proper storage, and calibration that's specific to the environment they're in, all needed to maintain accuracy. And without skilled personnel, without that diligent attention, improper handling can easily lead to sensor drift.
sensor drift.
Yeah, it's basically the electrode's accuracy slowly wandering off over time, like a clock that starts running a bit fast or slow.
Okay, got it.
And that drift can degrade responsiveness and, worse, lead to serious regulatory noncompliance. This gets particularly problematic for industries operating in, say, remote locations or resource-constrained environments where staff training might be limited.
So it's a very human-intensive process then, demanding precision from the operators themselves. Beyond that, what about the physical limits? How robust are these electrodes when things get really tough?
That's another significant limitation, yeah. The sometimes short lifespan of electrodes under really harsh conditions, exposure to extreme pH levels very high or very low high temperatures, abrasive particles in the liquid, or aggressive chemicals, all of that can degrade these sensors prematurely. Think about trying to measure pH in something incredibly corrosive like hydrofluoric acid, or even in very low conductivity samples where the solution itself barely conducts electricity. These conditions are incredibly challenging, and it not only increases replacement costs, but it also limits their application in certain specialized fields, areas where, optimized designs are still kind of evolving.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when you think about how diverse industrial applications can be. And, in a world of constant innovation, are alternative technologies starting to emerge? Things that could maybe challenge the traditional pH electrode.
Absolutely. That's another factor. The market is encountering rising competition from alternative sensing technologies. You're seeing non-glass, solid-state, and disposable sensors gaining popularity. Interesting. Especially in rugged, portable, or more consumer-centric applications. These alternatives are often less fragile, sometimes maintenance-free, which is a big plus.
Yeah.
And they might be better suited for emerging uses like, say, wearables for health monitoring or rapid soil testing out in the field for agriculture. Now, traditional glass electrodes, they still remain the gold standard for ultimate accuracy in many labs and processes.
Right.
But these innovations in compact alternative sensing might start to erode their dominance in certain specific niche sectors.
Okay, so considering those drivers and these challenges, what does this all mean for the future? Where's the pH electrode market heading? What are the key trends shaping what's next for these vital sensors?
Well, the first really major trend is the rise of smart and digital electrodes. This is a big shift.
Smart electrodes, how so?
So these advanced sensors, they come equipped with things like built-in temperature compensation, which is crucial for accuracy. They also have digital memory right on the sensor for storing calibration data, and wireless connectivity, like Bluetooth or USB. Now, this isn't just about convenience, though that helps. It significantly reduces user error during calibration and use,
I can see that.
and it allows them to integrate much more seamlessly into laboratory automation systems and industrial control networks. You also have IoT-enabled versions now that support remote monitoring, cloud-based data logging, even proactive maintenance alerts.
Right, the predictive aspect again.
Exactly, making them really ideal for these increasingly connected smart lab and smart factory ecosystems that are emerging everywhere.
That definitely sounds like a significant leap forward, making them more versatile, more connected. What about making them smaller?
Yeah.
You mentioned portable applications. Is that a big push?
Oh, definitely. Another really transformative trend is miniaturization for portable testing. There's a huge growing demand for compact pH meters with reliable microelectrodes. You see it across various fields, agriculture, aquaculture for fish farming. on-site food safety inspections.
Yeah.
These devices are being engineered specifically for durability out in challenging field environments, while still delivering fast, accurate readings. And their popularity is even rising in consumer applications, too. Things like home gardening, aquaponic systems, pool and spa maintenance.
Huh. Interesting. So everyday people might start using more sophisticated versions.
Potentially, yeah. And that's driving significant innovations in smaller, more robust sensor types, like gel-filled and solid-state compact sensors that don't need as much careful handling.
It's amazing how this tech is becoming more accessible. Okay, so smarter, smaller.
Yeah.
What about tailoring them for very specific, maybe even unusual jobs?
Yes, that's the third key trend. The market is witnessing a really significant shift toward application-specific electrode designs. Manufacturers are increasingly offering tailored probes, for instance, flat surface models specifically for testing the pH of skin or paper or agar plates,
Oh, cool.
or spear tip designs meant to pierce semi-solid foods like cheese or meat. And then you have high-temperature probes built to withstand the conditions inside industrial reactors.
So really specialized tools.
Exactly. You'll also see electrodes being customized with specialized membranes. These are designed for challenging samples, maybe protein-rich solutions or really viscous liquids, which helps boost both the accuracy and the service life of the electrode in those tricky situations. And another piece of this is OEM collaborations. That's original equipment manufacturer partnerships,
Right.
where sensor companies work with instrument makers to embed pH monitoring directly into larger instruments or automation lines. That's becoming much more prevalent. It shows just how deeply integrated this technology is becoming. And, top players in the space, companies like Thermo Fisher, Mettler Toledo, Ionode, Hamilton Bonaduce, they're really leading this innovation. They're focusing hard on digital transformation, making things more rugged, and integrating with advanced analytics to stay ahead. It's a competitive, regulation-driven market for sure.
Wow, what a deep dive. We've really journeyed from understanding that unseen work pH electrodes do in our water systems and hospitals, through the meticulous, sometimes tricky challenges of maintaining them, and into this future where they're clearly becoming smarter, smaller, and incredibly specialized.
It's truly remarkable, isn't it, how such a precise piece of technology is continuously evolving, adapting to meet just incredibly diverse needs and silently powering these critical processes all around us. You can really see how something that might seem quite niche at first glance is actually, woven into the very fabric of our daily lives, ensuring safety, quality, efficiency,
Yeah.
often completely unnoticed.
So thinking about all that, what really stands out to you personally about how such a specific, maybe seemingly simple technology like a pH electrode, how it manages to impact so many vastly different parts of your daily life, from the water you drink to potential medicines you might take, maybe even the health of your own home garden?